Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going on a little journey of our own to figure out a big question. What actually makes a vacation perfect? We're going to do that by looking at a trip that's a huge favorite among American seniors. And along the way, I think we'll uncover some secrets about what makes any trip truly unforgettable.
So, what are the ingredients? Is it about flying to some far-off, exotic place, staying in fancy hotels? Well, it turns out the answer might be way simpler than that. Sometimes it all comes down to just a few really powerful words that capture the whole feeling. And American seniors seem to have found that answer. The dream trip we're talking about is the New England Fall Foliage Tour. We're talking about that classic drive, you know the one, winding through the incredible scenery of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. It's consistently ranked as one of the most romantic and just plain beautiful getaways you can take. And what's so cool is that you can boil down the entire appeal of this trip to just 3 core keywords. These are like the building blocks of the whole experience: the drive, the fall, and the romantic. So let's dive in and break down what each of these really means. Okay, first up, let's talk about the drive. And this is so much more than just getting from one place to another. This is about the act of driving, where the journey itself is the main event. That single word, drive, is absolutely critical here. Think about it. We're not talking about a commute or just a means to an end. The very experience of being on the road, together in a car, is the absolute heart of this trip's appeal. So why is the drive so important? Well, it gives you total freedom and control. You see a beautiful lookout point? You can just stop. There's no schedule. Your car becomes this cozy, private space where you can talk and just be together. And maybe most importantly, it offers these amazing, uninterrupted views, making the journey not the destination, the real reason you're there. But of course, a great drive needs a great view. And that brings us to our second keyword, which is all about the setting and the whole sensory experience of the trip: the fall. Yep, fall, autumn. This isn't just any old time of year. Choosing this specific season is what takes the landscape from just pretty to absolutely breathtaking. It creates this powerful, almost magical atmosphere. I mean, this quote says it all, doesn't it? The fall foliage of New England is a sensory masterpiece. It's not just about what you see. It's that crispness in the air, the smell of the leaves, and yeah, of course, the unbelievable colors you see driving through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. The whole world just becomes this canvas of fiery reds, oranges, and yellows. It's a backdrop that's impossible to ignore. Okay, so we've got the journey and the scenery. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, the key word that ties it all together and really gives this trip its soul: romantic. And our third keyword is romantic. But before you start picturing roses and candlelit dinners, hang on. The word here describes the deep emotional connection, the feeling that this kind of trip is perfectly designed to create. Right, so in this context, romantic means something a little different, something deeper. It's about an experience that builds a quiet connection while you're sharing something beautiful. It brings up that warm, nostalgic feeling, and it's really all about the simple act of being together, not about making some big, grand gesture. So, we've got our 3 ingredients: drive, fall, and romantic. But the real magic happens when you see how they all work together. It's all about the combination. You could almost write it out like a perfect recipe or a simple formula. You take the drive, that private shared journey, and you add the incredible scenery of the fall. And what do you get? A deeply romantic experience. It's almost inevitable. One just flows right into the next. This table lays out the synergy so clearly. The drive gives you that intimate setting and control. The fall provides the stunning sensory backdrop, and romantic is the emotional result. It's what you feel when you share those first 2 things. You can see how if you took away any one of these key words, the whole vibe of the trip would just completely change. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to you. This New England trip gives us a fantastic model for what makes a journey special. So it's a great question to ask yourself: what are the 3 key words that would define your perfect trip? Maybe it's adventure, ocean, and solitude, or perhaps it's culture, city, and food. Thinking in keywords might just be the secret to planning your next amazing adventure.